Welcome back. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It's March the 4th. It's a Tuesday. It's the year 2025, and it was another day with another Indian Super League match in which FC Goa hosted Mohammedan Sporting, and they scored a 2-0 win. 2 goals from Ikar Guruchena was the difference between these two sides, and FC Goa close in on Mohammedan Super Giant, but 5 points difference. Mohammedan Super Giant have already won the league, but FC Goa continue to impress, while Miraj Uddin Wadu, I should rather say, coach Mohammedan Sporting, another loss for them. 23 matches, 12 points. They will certainly finish bottom of the table. Hi, Yasraj. I am doing fine. How are you? Hope you're doing fine as well. Not only you, but everybody else who's watching. And what I, of course, like to say at the start of videos is also do leave a like, share the video if you like what you're seeing with other people. And if you want to come back on a regular basis, do subscribe to the channel as well. We are at 2,315 people at the moment. And therefore, thanks as always to all my followers and subscribers. Hi, Manolo. Welcome back. Onward to miss tomorrow match. Yeah, that was clear after the BFC game. I think Oscar clearly stated that after the game against BFC the other day, and he will miss it. That's, of course, surely a big loss. But East Bengal tomorrow have to play Arkadag FK in the AFC Challenge League quarterfinal first leg, and not sure really what to think because Arkadag is difficult to judge, difficult to how good they can and will be. And on the other side with East Bengal, if they play like in the first half against Bangalore FC, then I do think it's possible for them to win. But if they play more like the second half, even though, of course, yes, one has to say they played with 10 men, but still, then it's a problem. So therefore, that's the problem at the moment with East Bengal FC. I hope that they get a result, but it's not going to be easy tomorrow. Manolo says East Bengal FC will score, but not sure how many they will concede. I think that sums it up, Manolo, where there is no clarity if this team can hold on to a result, can keep a result together, or do they concede too many and that gives an opportunity to the opponent. I think that's the big challenge for East Bengal FC going into this match, because they have to travel to Ashgabat 1 week later, and that will be then the challenge of defending potential result. I don't think a draw is good enough. I think East Bengal needs to win, and to me, as I've said it earlier over the weekend, that I think if East Bengal can somehow get a 2-0 or maybe a 3-1, that would be a very, very good result for East Bengal to try and defend in Ashgabat when they travel to Turkmenistan. But otherwise, even a 2-1 or 1-0 is always a difficult, tricky result. And therefore, but again, a win is a win. I would take it. And therefore, that's going to be the challenge, I think. So therefore, let's wait and see. Hi, Blue. Welcome back. I have no idea about Arkadag, though heard they are good at set piece. Blue, they will be good at set pieces. They will have height on their side. They will be typical Central Asian side with a little bit of a Russian influence. They'll be technically good as well. So from that perspective, all of that will be the case. And therefore, it'll be very, very interesting to see how East Bengal handle that tomorrow. I think that's going to be the big question. Can East Bengal handle that international pressure of expectation? I think also from the fans who have supported the team through the season, but the team has sort of not delivered at the end of the day. There's a lot of introspection at the moment going on about East Bengal FC and, what is right, what is wrong with the team. Of course, Oscar getting a lot of praise deservingly for what he got out of the team despite coming in late in the season. But again, East Bengal tomorrow need to be a team. They need to have show against once more a team effort as they did in the group stage of the AFC Challenge League, and then they can win. But Arkadag, de facto the Turkmen national team, have no foreigners. That's an interesting one, but yeah, it's going to be difficult, and therefore for East Bengal, they will have to perform, and it will, in my opinion, it's not going to be easy. It's a challenging game, and therefore I hope what happens, and to me is something that they will have to prove, and again, it's as I said, it's something that they need to get the result, and that's the most difficult one, I think, for the club. And let's wait and see what they can do. Hi, Roshan. Good to see you. He's been going to send me with Ruzon. Yes, I think Oscar has proven that he can create something. But again, one question that remains to me is that Oscar has had a lot of injuries in training, right? And that is something that he will have to check. Serious injuries in training. So to me, I don't know what East Bengal is going to do in the summer with transfers. They need a better bench, and they need to make signings like Rafael Messi Boli, who has been that addition, which makes it very interesting in my opinion. But otherwise, one has to wait and see. So therefore, Oscar staying is a good thing for East Bengal. But again, Oscar now needs to look at his squad, and then some tough decisions need to be made to try and make East Bengal a contender a real contender for the ISL top 6 next season. One thing in favor of East Bengal is that Arkadak are in pre-season mode. The league has not yet started. Manolo, I said on Sunday, to me, that can be an advantage to East Bengal, can also be a disadvantage. Because I feel that East Bengal's played a lot of football in the last few weeks. I've had a lot of injuries as well. So that might be an issue. Arkadak coming off an extended preseason, got this as their first game, and therefore, you never know, which way it can go. Normally, it should be an advantage because you're in the flow, but again, East Bengal at home need to get a result, because after that they have to travel up to Shillong. From Shillong then to Ashgabat is, from what I've heard, is going to be a long journey. And from that perspective, they just need to do the right things. And that's going to be the challenge, I think, for East Bengal. But it's going to be, as I said, going to be very, very interesting to see. Nikos Karelis can play the next match. Yes, Raj, he was there on the bench in the last game, but Mumbai City didn't risk him. Let's wait and see if he's ready to play or ready to start, I think is the question. But I think he will be in the squad in the next game against BFC. And then let's wait and see what happens. Hi, Ashish. I am doing fine. Hope you're doing well too. All right. Nearly 10 minutes. And as I always like to share, and I'll repeat it quickly before we move on. And if you haven't, do leave a like. If you're liking the conversation, liking what we're talking about here in regard to our regular Indian football discussions, 4 likes so far. I think we can do better. And those of you who might be new to the channel, haven't subscribed yet, do subscribe. We're at 2,315. We're slowly, clearly growing. And also watch the shorter videos that I try and make on a regular basis. And support the channel. I did something about the ISL top 6 race yesterday morning. Of course, that has already changed with Northeast United qualifying for it. So it's Mumbai City versus Odisha FC for the last spot. And before that, ask the question: has the time come for a Sunil Chetri comeback? Have a look at that. Manolo, who does he need to call up? Also, a video which seems to, where I want Mr. Goenka to focus on Mohammedan Supergiant and make it a real club and not really focus on Asia at the moment. And all the other videos which are there, so some interesting ones. Also, a little further down the history. So do have a look, and thanks a lot as always for your support. Hi, Murali. India country over the years, they failed to set up strong foundation not only football, other sports also, but dreaming to achieve Olympic medal, daydreaming. Yeah, Murali, that's a fact. How is first experience working with your first football club, any big club you worked in Europe? First football club. First football club was over 2 decades back, yes, and was good, but when you start working for a football entity, sometimes you have to take this angle of being a fan of the sport out of yourself. You have to focus on the work, and that's been something that I've done. So therefore, that's that. And yes, I've worked for some of the biggest clubs in Europe. I've done a lot of work over the years for Bayern Munich. I've done work for Man City as well. Borussia Dortmund have done some work as well, other clubs as well. Some clubs that I will not mention, but yes, I've done some work for numerous clubs. How is Pritham Kotal ISL performance? Murali, I would say mixed. I think he can do better. I think he can surely do better. Pritham hasn't had the best of seasons. Of course, also had a transfer. So therefore, for me, it's a mixed season for him. But again, towards the end, regular for Owen Coyle at Chennai, but not the best for a player of his standards. FIFA ban for Pakistan lifted, one person got banned. Don't know if FIFA banned or Pakistan FA. No, that's a global FIFA ban on that individual who will also have to pay a fine. So that's a global FIFA ban on that individual. Do you wish such individual ban of people in such position for Indian football? Yes, 100%. I've said that in the past. I think FIFA ethics committee could step in and take care of the one or the other person, but that has so far not happened. But yeah, there are people that I think are very, very harmful to Indian football, and if they weren't there, I think it would be better for Indian football. And I think there are easily things that could be constructed for banning people. Yeah, there's enough information on certain individuals that could move to that. But again, not even FIFA, I think AIFF ethics could take a step on that as well. Sorry if that question is too. No, it's not at all, Roshan. Constant said best match under India is against Thailand, LG Cup 2002 against Vietnam. Thailand, yes. Thailand, I can say I was there, Murali. Because that was very, very special because it was at an Asian level. It was in the Asian Cup. It felt on that day, on that 6th of Jan, I think if it was 2019, like India had arrived, right? And at the Asian stage, it felt like, something had or was about to change. And therefore, I understand that, and the LG Cup triumph. I mean, India came back to win 3-2 against the hosts. I remember we were in England before that for 2 matches against Jamaica. Stephen had built a special squad for the Asian Games, and therefore, yeah, it's 2 very, very special games that Stephen had with the Indian national team. So I I can only agree to that. And two very, very special results. One at the Asian Cup, beating Thailand 4-1 in style, and a 3-2 comeback against Vietnam in Vietnam. Things that both these things would be things that we would at the moment dream about for Indian football. So that's the reality of how much that team at the time achieved for Stephen and for India and Indian football. Do you think foundation are also the main reason we struggle at high level and expect them to play good football? Well, the foundation is a problem, but it is not the main problem. There are multiple problems, and all of them add up. Because I also nowadays say to me, it's a very, very logical thing. Of course, yes, we have a problem with the foundations. We have a problem at grassroots. We have a problem at youth football. I say with coaching, that we have a problem in competitions and scouting. But if a kid is really exceptional, despite all the struggles, all the problems, the best always get filtered through, because people also, if a kid is too good, you cannot obstruct the development of that kid. And I've not seen a kid of that level. That's that's a reality. Now, what's your take on Northeast United's success with a very limited budget? But what is your take? Can you give me Northeast United budget ranking? I'm not going to give you the budget ranking. I don't know if that is really public domain conversation, Kumar. I think that they've done very, very well. Manda Tamane came in last season, brought in Juan Pedro Benali as the head coach. They've built on things, brought in certain people who've worked with him and under Mandar at BFC. So, I think that's also important. People might not understand, but there are people that you've worked with, that you trust, that you know that you can work with, that you can build something with. Manda has done that, and I think it's worked for him. And this season they've brought in some very interesting players. I think the most interesting one is this gentleman, Aladdin Ajare, an incredible record. And I think if nothing extraordinary happens, even if Northeast United don't win the ISL, so he needs to be, the best player of the season. So therefore, yeah, they've done a lot of things right, and budget is to me not the thing. I think in an Indian football context, a lot of clubs, a lot of entities are spending a lot of money on players, and most of the players, be it Indian, be it foreigners, should be signed for much less money. There is no justification for the money that's being spent in the ISL. So therefore, as I said, the salary cap hasn't worked. People have worked around the salary cap. There needs to be some other mechanism. I don't know what that mechanism is, to be very, very honest with you. But yeah, let's see what can happen. But Northeast United on a good path, ensure their ISL top 6 finish, and they will continue to build next season. And hopefully next season they will take a next step and maybe not just be an ISL top 6 side. Maybe they can be contesting for a little bit more. Any difference you find working sports event management in Germany and India apart from quality? Murali, there are a lot of difference. The way you work over here, your deadlines, how you plan, put together things is much more organized, much more structured. So yeah, a lot of differences. Australia winning AFC U20 Asian Cup, are you surprised? No. I mean, they are one of the best sides in Asia at senior and junior level. So yeah, they can win. 3,000 people came to watch the game in the last match. Who started the unfollow campaign on social media and brought this to the club? If this goes on, this club will be gone forever. Safe KBFC. Pradeep, I've said, right, that, and I repeat, for any team which has fans, it is also the duty of the fans to support the team. And you need to make your protest heard, I think, in different ways than boycotting matches of your team. Because, um, yeah, um, difficult one to say. I mean, and the trust between, I think, the Blasters and the management of the Blasters and the fans, there is a big disconnect, I would say, and that is causing a lot of discontent. And uh, um, let's see what happens. But this is not going in a good direction, I feel. As an Indian origin person, any of your German friend asked why is India not performing good in international sports arena? No, Murali. One advice to player and fans federation, my advice was set realistic goals. Murali, there is not one advice that you can give to players and fans. Different, to the fans, as I always say, is keep on supporting would be my advice, and to the players depends on each individual player of what they're doing, how they're doing, and where they are, what they're doing, different points. Pakistan has announced their Asian Cup qualifiers probable squad. Why do you think India hasn't? Is there a pressure on AIFF to qualify for Asian Cup? Has Mono started selection process? No, XYZ. I think we discussed it a few days ago that Manolo has not announced it. I think Manolo has clearly got the names in his head for a probable list for the Maldives game, but I think that there have been conversations between him and other ISL coaches, and not to distract from the latter part of the ISL season, that Manolo has kept that aside, and I guess the announcements will either happen towards the end of this week, or it will happen after the 12th of March, or maybe on the 12th of March, on the last match day of the ISL League season. So that is the reason. There is nothing to that. Again, Pakistan doesn't have a league. Bangladesh, also the league is stopped. So those are different reasons why these countries have announced or even started their camps. Can we say Germany and India hockey is on par, equal, or Germany superior when they lost to the Olympics? Murali, I don't watch hockey enough. I watch hockey during Olympics. I'm an Olympic. There are certain sports which I watch during Olympics, and sometimes you see and watch results. I don't watch it enough. I don't know who's better, who's worse. Two very, very good teams in that sport, but who's better, I don't know. Who will be your golden ball winner, considering it's usually given to Shield winning team, or do you think they should make exception, give it to golden ball winner Ajare? Blue is a good question. To me, if you ask me, I think I would give it to Aladdin Ajare for that performance, that many goals, um, for for such a season. It's an exceptional season that he's had. You deserve it, right? 21 goals, just insane. 7 assists, so 28 goal contributions, which this way or that way means that he has more than one goal contribution per game. That is an insane piece of stat in the Indian Super League. And I saw yesterday something where some people in Kolkata are now saying that Shubhashish Bose should be made the player of the season. And when I think, like, are you serious after what he did against Mumbai City, that he should be considered for being the best player in the league? So this is the problem, right? There is a perception and all that stuff, and I think these are all things that needs to go in. And to me, Ajare has. I mean, I'll be honest. At some stage, I thought, there must be a stage where this incredible run is going to end, because yeah, it's been very, very, very impressive what he's played, because without him, um, all the compliments that we're making to Northeast United most probably wouldn't be there, because Northeast United, I don't think without him would have made the top six. Any instance you thought ordinary team turned extraordinary by coach tactics, decisions, and report or something special? Yeah, there've been many teams who have had very, very good coaches who've turned them into something special. Good evening, Ishan. Welcome back. Once again, thanks for covering Indian football and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. I try, Ishan. I try. As I say, I try to be as honest as possible on the things, and thanks as always for your support or support from the others. Trying to do this as regularly as I can. And again, we need to be working on doing things, and yeah, and let's hope for the best. Do you think East Bengal should leave Diamantakos? Yes. If you ask me straight up, I would say after what he did the other night, I don't think, with that kind of a thing. Let's see what Oscar does. I think Oscar will play him tomorrow. But Diamantakos to me has to prove that he's worthy of playing in Asia. I think that's what he needs to now prove. And to me, very, very interesting to see what he does, because what he did against BFC the other night was just unacceptable. And he actually killed. There was a little chance left. It would have been, again, East Bengal's chance would have been out after the 3-0 of Northeast United yesterday against Chennai. But again, East Bengal's slim chances of qualifying for the ISL playoffs would have been kept alive with a win. And that has actually died out. And that's Diamantakos just himself to blame for that situation where he stands in the line of the ball. And of course, also when he gets that stupid red card, nothing more to say. What did Diamantakos know that should leave? I couldn't follow. I said close. Roshan, very simple. And others, I'll come to your questions after this, because we're just talking about this. To me, is very, very clear that Diamantakos the other night against BFC, he earns a foul against Fanai, and then starts arguing with Noguera about it, and then pushes him, shoves him, and does a headbutt. Straight red card. But before that, there's a situation where Mahesh could have played him, doesn't play him. He's angry about it. So he stays offside, he's angry, and then the ball comes towards him, puts his foot up, and the ball goes in. And that, again, so therefore, these are things where I say, and I saw him in Mumbai where he had 2 good chances to score. He didn't score. That's one problem, that he's not scored as many goals as he can. But on the other side, also his behavior. He's always arguing with the referee, arguing with his teammates, arguing with the world. I don't know what the problem is, because I mean, he can't score goals. I mean, he's even played in Germany. So so therefore, I'm not sure what the problem is, because it's the behavior to me is very weird. I mean, someone who's played here in Germany, you will understand that, Roshan. I mean, someone who's played in Karlsruhe. Impressive 2 seasons at Karlsruhe. He played at Bochum. He played at St. Pauli. He's a legend in St. Pauli. That kind of a player. He's a former Greece. In his time in Germany, he actually became a Greece international. To behave like that, just not acceptable. Any difference you find MLS and Chinese Super League? Morally, the structure of the leagues is different. The MLS financially is much more stable. Let's see. And the Chinese, of course, have been struggling since COVID. That's the biggest difference. And of course, the quality. I think MLS has been now able to attract some of the best talent in the world. So let's see what happens. International noodles will start now. My favorite as an Indian fan. XYZ, yes, but you still have to wait another 10 days before it really properly starts. It would be interesting if you could do podcasts with Ashish Negi. All right, Murali, let me see what I can do. When we were squad for Maldives, we spoke a little earlier about it, Ishan. I think either towards the end of the week, but I believe more likely it'll come out next week once the ISL is finished. Is there a lack of funds or lack of will from Indian football? In some areas, you will say there's a lack of funds, but mainly there is lack of will. And I think the bigger problem is morally lack of knowledge in a lot of things. People think they know and they don't, in my opinion. How do you rate Vinith Rai? This season, and disappointing because I thought he could make a difference in Punjab and he couldn't. Good backup at Mumbai City in the last few years, so next season have to step up. Hallo Ronaldo, guten Abend. Rushabh, guten Abend or good evening also to you. Welcome back. Brazil legend playing in Chennai. Yeah, they're playing supposedly a Legends match, right, against the Indian team. Murali, let's see what happens. I think Sunil's comment about the standards falling after playing in ISL was spot on. This version of Demi won't make it to the second Bundesliga. No chance. Not even close. Ishan, not even close. I was talking about angry reaction of East Bengal fans. Have you heard the same? Abhijit, I've not only heard, East Bengal fans, but East Bengal club officials as well, putting the blame on the ref and, that people are cheating them and this and that and everything. And we're like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what the referee did wrong the other night because Harish Kundu, very, very, did very well. So this whole, it doesn't help. East Bengal needs to go inwards, introspect, do things correctly, to me is unacceptable. I mean, unacceptable that East Bengal fans need to not only East Bengal fans, the whole club needs to understand it needs to arrive in the ISL. 5 years of East Bengal in the ISL and everybody else is to blame but East Bengal. It's just embarrassing. East Bengal club is a big club, a big entity. But in the ISL, they're a very, very small fish. And that is something which they're not realizing. When is the Maldives match? Pranjal, it's on the 19th of March. 2 lakh viewership for FC Goa was Mohammedan Sporting Club Champions Trophy. Semi versus Australia. Kezuravar. When gonna next Twitter space happen? It's been too long, eagerly waiting for it. Pratik, I am avoiding X as much as possible as a platform. I can't fully because I'm still spreading information, let's say, about this lives or my other videos and a few things on it. But I have not been so active, and I'm trying to avoid X as much as possible. El Clasico is a perfect example of capitalism at peak. Tickets starting with 4K. Yeah, Rishabh, interesting. 4K. I'm not sure how many people will go to DY Patil for that price. Or if they're going to give tickets in bundles to Real Madrid and Barca fans to try and cover it. I'm not sure. Interesting will be is that match, and of course also the Brazilians playing in Chennai. Are the big names really going to come, or they're just you never know with these legends teams if players will come because there are different reasons. They could be sick, they could be this, it could be that. Suddenly they don't turn up. So therefore, let's wait and see. So I watched your Insta story today. Your German is very fluent. I learned German in college, but could gather only a few words. Thanks, Ishan. Yeah, I mean, Ishan, I'm born in Germany. So if my German wasn't fluent, that would be a problem. By the way, your video regarding Goenka has reached Mohun Bagan fan base. They're planning to raise the issue in next few months. So great to hear. If the fans understand it, if they want to raise it with Mr. Goenka, I'm very, very happy because that is my only thing, and it's just my understanding of things, and I'm trying to put it nicely in what I think what he needs to do, and that's something. There was a reaction from someone I was reading under that video. 1 second, I think a Jamshedpur FC fan, which I thought was very, very, very appropriate. And I'll just quote that one, which I thought it was very good. It's fantastic to see you covering Indian football. I'm a huge Jamshedpur FC supporter, and I think it's important for more viewers to understand what makes our club unique. We have a complete setup, our own stadium, dedicated training facilities, a clubhouse for players, a thriving youth academy, and the historic Tata Football Academy. That's a true football club, and I hope you share this with the audience. And Prem Kumar, just doing this at least here in this video, and surely good example that I can do once the season is over and bring as an example Jamshedpur FC. And that's what I'm saying. The Kolkata clubs are so big, but they've not gone with times. Kolkata Maidans have not gone with times. So therefore, these are all issues, sadly, and let's hope that they get rectified at some stage, but they haven't. What would happen if Mohammedan Supergiant wins Super Cup? Then which team will qualify the playoffs for ACL 2? It's either, oh God, how is the ruling for India? It's either the team which finishes second in the league, which is FC Goa, or it is the runners-up of the Super Cup. I would have to check. I would not know this at this moment. It's one of those two teams. East Bengal's chances in the AFC. Abhijit, it depends on tomorrow. I think East Bengal need to get a win tomorrow if if they can win tomorrow, then something is possible. I'm sure the crowd will be there, but come on, 4,000 starting price, it's too much. Rishabh, I agree, but do you think with 4,000 as starting price, many people will come? I have a doubt. Is your not being active on X for Elon Musk? Yes, it is for what has become of the platform. Dragging into geopolitics against your will, you take on Trump versus Zelensky drama and Elon endorsement of far right in Germany. The endorsement of the far right is a disaster, and again, it's none of his business. And I live here in Germany, so I was and I am and I will stand with Ukraine on that matter, and it's very disgraceful what has happened last Friday over there. Your opinion regarding East Bengal fans burning effigy of referee Harish Kundu? Shameful, Zorawar. I think that the AIFF needs to step in at some stage, because it could become a security threat for referees who are going to referee East Bengal matches in Kolkata. And I think it needs to start with Nituda not saying what he's saying. It's bonkers. I mean, come on, how can you blame the referee? It is like those 2 red cards for Nanda and for Mahesh at the time, which where they didn't want to accept it. And I go back, if that's the case, it's something it's scandalous, because I remember I said after that Mumbai City game which I watched, and I watched Nanda Kumar playing handball rather than football. And I simply said East Bengal fans have nothing to cry about, and I stand with that. And referees have made mistakes against East Bengal, but referees have also made mistakes for East Bengal. That is what they're forgetting. They're very, very, very one-sided view. I've seen something yesterday also regarding Kerala Blasters. There's no referee decision has gone their way. It is bonkers. It is hilarious that there are fans who are creating a narrative, officials creating a narrative, coaches creating narratives, that the referees on purpose are doing some stuff, right? But again, if I want to go to the I-League and look at what's been happening around Inter Kashi and that Delhi game, it is hilarious, because the disciplinary committee are turning around and rightful decisions are being turned around. So the question to me also now is about the AIFF disciplinary committee, right? So if you do enough pressure, can you get decisions overturned? That seems to be also a problem in that system, right? So, but the referees, I don't know. As every club moves towards into a new season, the Blasters are moving backwards. Who are their advisors who failed here, even after all these years, if they cannot understand the situation? Yeah, Pradeep, I think that is something to ask the club, to ask the owners, to ask the management. Let's see. They're supposedly working on changing stuff around the squad. Let's see if they can do it. So people like you need to raise the real issues in the youth system, Mohun Bagan. Hopefully then, along with the biggest fan base we could create a real mark in Asian club football. Really, I've done that as that video that is mentioned. If you haven't watched it, video has now close to 4,500 views. So it seems to be has been going around. So to me, that's a story that we can talk about. So yeah, surely. But Mohammedan need to do a lot of things to be, yeah. How many national team and similar big matches in Sri Lanka all go to any problem? Obviously, they've East Bengal now next, or no, sorry, this week play against Northeast United in Shillong. So that's going to be the third ISL game, and there are going to be two national team games supposedly. Today, the Meghalaya Football Association has said that they have not been informed about the Maldives situation, that Maldives doesn't want to travel up there. So in an ideal case scenario, Maldives, the friendly, and the Bangladesh qualifier for the AFC Asian Cup 2027 will take place in Shillong. East Bengal fans are also blaming Nita Ambani for rigging. Zorawar, Nita Ambani is not involved in the running of the ISL. So therefore, I mean, all of these things, Zorawar, is just, yeah, it's. I mean, at some stage, you know, it's to me, it's just embarrassment. It's just, you know, they should be embarrassed what they're doing. Saw some crazy things in symbols related to Germany and X. Hope things are safe in Germany. Said Ishan. That's what I'm saying. That platform has become a space for fake, wrong information. Germany is safe. There are issues here as anywhere else in the world, but it's as safe as it was yesterday or day before or 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Things are very, very good overall. There are problems, no doubt about it, but I think a lot of things that they're saying, yeah. Do you watch handball? Is it fun to watch? How different is it from basketball? Yes, Ovijit, I watch handball. I'm actually working on handball at the moment, and I like it. I watched it last Friday. Just go to my Insta account. I think you'll see something on handball. And handball is playing with the hand, and it's played on goals. And basketball, of course, is played into those baskets. So therefore, that's the big difference, I guess. You're avoiding extra to anti-Indian hate on the platform. No, that's so rather my thing is rather with the owner of the platform. I don't know if is it really that much of anti-Indian here? I don't know. I mean, I'm more worried about what the owner is saying, what the owner is doing, what the owner has done, and try to influence. Let's see. Here, Oscar signed a contract extension with East Bengal. Uchut, I've been told that as well, but not sure about it. A 1 + 1 year extension, so 1 year fixed and one optional year. Supposedly, Oscar staying at least till 2026. Yeah, let's wait and see. Inter Kashi's chance to get promoted due to any different from Mohammedan Sporting. Abhijit, they were in a very good position, but blew that position with that loss to Real Kashmir. Is it a two-way? Is it a three-way race? Let's wait and see. But I think if they would go up, yes, they would do a few things different, and then they could, yeah, make some. I think they can make an influence on the ISL. Is Ranjiv shown if you have connection, you can do anything in football with a case, and now that is recommended. It looks like it, Blue. It's very, very, as I said, it's very, very disturbing in my opinion that these kind of things have been are happening, were happening, and you know things were not changed for the better. And it's a huge problem in my opinion where we stand at this moment, and it is not helping in you're facing a lot of issues. So yeah, let's wait and see. Once Mohan gets a draw with Al Nassr in Israel too, we will get probably big match in Kolkata. Really, yes, Al Nassr out of the top three in the UAE, sorry, in the Saudi Pro League, so they could be, right? But I don't know if you know Mohan with their big plans for Asia, if it would be good that their plans get exposed by facing Cristiano Ronaldo and you know I don't think that is going to be something that Mohun Bagan would like to face. I wonder why Nitamban isn't seen anymore in and around ISL. She used to be literally everywhere in early seasons. Rishabh, priorities have moved, right? Her priorities are Olympic sports. She and Reliance have been pushing. Her focus has been Reliance Foundation. So therefore, those are the things that she and they have bothered more than what we have or what we bother about, and that is Indian football. What have you made of Hector Eustace's performance this season? Ishan, I thought he was okay. I mean, knowing that he's gotten older or knowing that he's a little slow, but he's been sort of one of the fixed points, you know. Uh, so therefore, for me, I thought he's done okay. Looking around him, who's played around him, yeah, I would say that. East Bengal and Mohun fans blame everyone but themselves, right? I'm sure if you lived in Kolkata, you'd stop watching Dog as well. Obviously, totally agree with that. It's very, very funny that I hear very often from Mohun fans, oh, no, we're different, this, that, everything. And then when things go against them, like in that Shubhashish Ghosh instance, you know, yeah, they also don't want to accept that that that's been a problem, and we're stuck with that, right? We're stuck in that sort of window, and things are not moving in the right direction. So therefore, for me, it's a huge problem, and yeah, and but again, we've now seen the same thing. Our problem with the Blasters fans, also with other fan groups. Um, yeah, it will be interesting to see how it really evolves. Or does it evolve, or does it live in its small little universe? Does I need to bring back marquee signings in order to bring back football viewers, which faded away from early seasons? Rushabh, I think marquee players, yes, in a sense that at least every club should have one marquee player in that way. But my concern with the whole marquee player thing is that mm, that do the clubs have the budgets or the willingness to spend that money on marquee players? And I don't think that is there, right? Everyone is trying to look at surviving at the moment with given budgets, and it's a fight for every entity, I think. And that is, I think, a very, very challenging scenario. And yeah, I, again, if clubs were willing to spend, yeah, marquees would be a good thing, a good addition. Is the Olympics bid going to be solely a corporate bid or bid of both? Rishabh, the Olympic bid is everything but a corporate bid. It is a country bidding to host the Olympics for a specific city or state. Uh, um, you know, uh, uh, and to me is yeah, it's the country. It's um, so um, So it's the country. It's not the corporate bidding is doing. I think Olympics in that way is different, and therefore it has to be an Indian bid. The most talented player ever played in ISL is Bright Enobakare, right? Or Mendoza. No, those two don't even come into my top five. They're much more talented players in the first few seasons who played in the ISL. But Diego Forlan would be on that list. Del Piero, Nicolas Anelka would be on my list. So a lot of these former legends would be there. I've heard that the far right in Germany are not that big on minorities and migrants and the whole migration issue. Elon Musk is dangerous for Elon Musk is dangerous for the world. So not only just yeah. In my opinion, East Bengal should be sent back to I-League next season. You don't trust if it's there, then don't play. See, Zoravar, that is the funny one, right? That is so therefore yeah, therefore for me, maybe if they really think that everyone is doing them badly, yeah, then leave the league. No one is forcing you to play ISL, right? But they will not. They will certainly not do it. And that's part of the problem. Hear me out. The plan is to win an Asian Cup using the easiest possible. FC Goa wins Super Cup, throws the game at qualifier, plays the Challenger League instead, and easily wins the Challenger League. Guys, Pranjal, on everyone with these nice ideas of how to, um, Asian level club competition. It's not Asian Cup, Asian club level competition doesn't work like that. Oscar's agreed an extension under certain conditions. Financial backing is one of them. Could sign up with 10 from him. Let's wait and see. Again, there's no clarity if Imami will stay. And there's been a lot of talk that Imami could be leaving. So, yeah, let's wait and see. An ardent Indian football fan told me that the imminent FIFA ban is a hoax. Ochut, the same thing was said to me when I clearly told people. I went to Delhi, tried to convince people and make them understand, guys. FIFA is very, very close to saying thank you very much, Tata, bye bye, and again, and you know. So to me, all those, sorry, ignorant. Let's be very nice to these people. Ignorant people. Um, they don't understand things, and yeah. I've gone to the extent really. I'd rather have less fans, but they know a little bit and understand things and understand how things work, rather than people who think they know and they understand and don't have a clue about how things work. That to me is, I think, Indian football's biggest problem at the moment, that persists and exists. I don't get it because Reliance is quite heavily involved, right? Is Reliance partially funding the bit? No. How are they involved? I mean, where do you get that, Rushabh? Um, it's a whole government thing. Mrs. Ambani will push it, from being an IOC member. That's the most she can do. But this is a government of India bit. According to them, everyone is conspiring against them. So rather, this whole conspiracy thing of in every part of life at the moment is a very, very disturbing development. Which I see, and to me is very, very clear, that we need to move on and move into a different area and phase. And to me, again, people, it's yeah, I don't know. It's let them come into the real world. You know. Rushabh says to Prandis, could win Challenge League this season. We also need our league ranking to improve. For that, our clubs need to do well in ACL too. Yeah, but again, for me, at the moment, East Bengal needs to win the next round, right? Get into the semis. And talking about winning is 5 matches to play. Again, being political for no reason. Does Elon behave like this because it's beneficial for him, or one of his child was LGBT or something, and he blamed left for this? He changed a lot though. Obviously, I don't know him personally. I know him as much as you do. I feel he's doing it for power and for money. I think it's financial benefits, and other things, but it is insane what this guy is doing. That's it's destroying the fabric of this planet, right? That's what he's doing. How did it go in Mumbai FC Goa 2021 and Mumbai City's 2022 ECL campaign? Simon, I would rate them as successful. FC Goa at home, in a bubble, difficult. Mumbai City in a bubble away. So therefore, I would rate them for Indian clubs as successful. But again, yeah, that was then. Can you see my comments? Yes, I mean, the last one that I saw was what have you made of Hector Eustace? That was the last one, Ishan. If you post something else after that, please repost. What are chances of Eastbourne for tomorrow's match? Sachin, I said this earlier. Can say this again. To me, East Bengal needs to get a result tomorrow. The chances are there to win. And therefore, tomorrow. I'm not saying they can do it. I'm saying that it's the easiest of them all. And maybe East Bengal was the end. Ranjal, that's nice, but you're going 5 steps ahead. We've got our basic problems. Let them sort them out first. That is what I don't live in dream world anymore, or la la land, or whatever I call it. You will take us to Mars. XYZ, we have enough problems on this planet. We don't need to look at Mars or the moon or whatever, the stars. Let's sort the problems on this planet. I think that is what we need to do. With the right wing on rise everywhere around the world, where can we think of moving in the next few years? Rishabh, that's a good question. That's a very, very good question, and I don't have, and so yeah. He's one of the richest guys in the world. Plus, he's got huge backing by Trump and MAGA, so unlikely anyone can stand up. I think they can. I think Europe is standing up. I think one thing that Trump has done has, emancipated Europe from the US, and that's happening at the moment. And yeah, let's see. We need to stand up. I think, the rules-based system needs to be back, and therefore, again, Germany is in a little weak position because we've just had elections, but I think we've seen good leadership from United Kingdom and from France. But so let's wait and see. But it is very, very disturbing that someone like that, it's like a James Bond villain, really, in real life. Pranjal, replying to Russia, East Bengal has problems with India, so it's going to be difficult. Yes, 100% difficult with that. A lot of matches played. East Bengal looked tired to me in the last few matches as well. So, let's wait and see how this now progresses. Jitan has played very well and had a crisp finish as well in the last game. Yeah. But again, Ishan, up and down. Huh? A question of curiosity: are Western Europeans in general religious, or they give a about it? I think there's a large parts of society which is atheist these days, and they don't bother. But there are people who do bother, and yeah, that's the reality. Challenging is not a cakewalk for East Bengal. Arkadak is a tough challenge. Even if they proceed, they will face either Al Arabi or Al Seeb, who were regulars in the AFC Cup. Al Seeb even won recently. Yeah, Simon, that's my point. That's what I'm saying, that East Bengal fans talking about winning and all, or general fans talking about it, it's way ahead. You have to win your matches first. Why is he so vulnerable? XYZ, I think Europe is at the moment vulnerable because there was this world order since the Second World War, which was there for the last 80 years. And it worked for Europe, right? We've had, despite all the problems with Cold War and other things, it survived. And let's see what happens now. But Europe needs to find its, and it now needs to take hard steps. And let's see. Europe has to move ahead and take care of itself now. And I saw footage of Mumbai City fans throwing fake money towards Mumbai players. What was the reason? No, it was not towards Mumbai players. It was towards Apuya for leaving Mumbai City last summer to join Mohammedan Superjet. Our Indian players in ISL continue to be inconsistent, hot on one day and cold on another. The signs are worrying. Yeah, Ishan, very, very true and very, very right. Was your education in Germany in English or German? In German, Ishan. Predict tomorrow's result, I would say 1-1, says Guardiola. I hope East Bengal win. It doesn't matter. I quite like Oscar Bruzon's attitude. We should keep the guy in ISL. East Bengal squad isn't that bad or cheap either. Seems like lack of organization, chaos, and emotional attitude is the reason behind. I don't think the squad is that good. I think they've got a good first team, but if their first team is not there, so, I feel East Bengal may pull a draw at the Yuvarthi Kirangan, lose to Arkadag away, regardless, would support them as a Mohammedan fan. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every important that all Indian football fans support them. What are your opinions? More Protestants or Catholic Orthodox? XYZ, I wouldn't know that. I don't think Europe has failed. Zoro says, to be honest, what Ukraine is doing is foolish. They can't face Russia without us. US help. Also, Europe is doing the same. Majority of Europe depends on US for weapons. And I think, Zorava, that's the shift that is happening. So therefore, for me, without help, Ukraine survived the first few days of the war, and they fought back and and kept their country. I think Ukraine. I think there's a lack of understanding, in my opinion, what the Ukrainians have been doing for 2+ years. So therefore, for me, they can face Russia, and I think they can face Russia with the help of Europe. Because unlike what Mr. Trump is saying, Europe has been spending more money than the US, right? And I think if I look at how Europe is ramping up its own productions in regard to weapons, they've been dependent on the US. That's very, very true. But I think there's been a dramatic shift in that. And again, it will mostly take 24 months to get to that position. Interestingly, in the last 2 days, Ukraine has won back certain territory in Donetsk, in the region of Donetsk. So let's wait and see. So therefore, from my point of view, it was important also that someone like Zelensky actually told Trump those things on the face, and then let's see what happens. I hope that again. I've got some Ukrainian friends over here who fled their country. Know even one of the other football player, and these people want to go home. They want to go home and live peacefully, and that's something that I think every person should be allowed to. You agreed with your president saying Europe is a garden and the rest of the world is jungle. Putin and Americans had sharp reaction to that. When and where did he say that? I've not heard that. Right? Therefore, that's what I'm saying. Are you falling for disinformation? Because I haven't heard that, right? Because that would have been, even if the EU president said that, that would have been a huge scandal. So therefore, again, as I say in Indian football, be very, very careful. These days, social media, especially on a platform like X, be careful with what informations you believe. Without help, Israel wouldn't even exist. Heck, even Axis powers would have come as winners. Well, yeah. Dictators love dictators, right? Yeah, looks like it. According to you, Neuer is the best goalkeeper of all time. If I look at the style, the way that how he changed goalkeeping, I would say yes. As the season move on, I dislike Owen even more. I mean, do your job as a coach. Why you throw tantrums like a rebel teenager? It's getting frustrating now. Ishan, I said that many weeks ago, right? You know. One second. Sorry, I just need to put on the light once because it's getting dark now. I said that, right? I said that especially after the fight with Robin Singh, that it's not good for someone with the standing of Owen Coyle and with the track record of having coached where he coached, that he's behaved the way he has, and I found that very poor. But that's been Owen Coyle for you. I think the owners gave him a good squad, so let's see. By the way, EIFF was in India a few days back. Last 2 years, they were the ones critical about India purchasing Russian oil. Now this would for FTA. I think they're still critical of India buying Russian oil, right? That has been a conversation with India to take a stand. India hasn't taken a stand. India is one of those who are being very opportunistic and looking at its own self and doesn't understand that, who are your friends and who are your enemies. Russia is not your friend. Will Russia support India against China? That's your real problem, right? How difficult was affected personally? Russia personally, it has, because I've had to deal with people who've come from Ukraine here in Remscheid. It has made life complex. I think we've been since COVID from one crisis to another in this part of the world, and that's a problem. But yeah, and it's something which is so therefore, yeah. This difficult loss is also the reason why Ursula von der Leyen is visiting India. Also, Belgium is on a visit with 3,000 members, delegates. They know US markets are hands for it. These things have been going on. This is not a new thing. India has been on the map, but India is something. I was speaking with a local MP recently about it. India is like Indian football. You want to do something, but you know not what to do because India itself doesn't know what it's doing. It's one big chaos. You have a Bangladeshi heritage, right? Do you keep any track of current developments in the country? This UNESCO is quite an interesting case. Obijit, little bit here and there, but no, not really. Putin invaded Ukraine because they were trying to join NATO. I mean, that was the need. Who says that? Again, distortion of history. Ukraine had one of the biggest nuclear arsenals in 1994. It was given up. And the United States, United Kingdom, and Russia ensured that they said, listen, your territorial integrity will be taken care of. That was broken in 2014. And therefore, it is, if Ukraine wants to join NATO, it is their right. Russia cannot tell them what they can do, what they can't do. Putin has been meddling in international affairs and countries and politics and this and that, everything. Look at the Romanian election where someone via TikTok and other social medias became a candidate and could have won the election, but then they stepped in. So therefore, this is something, disinformation, guys. Be very, very careful. People will tell you a lot of stories. Sorry. Are fuel prices in Germany crazy expensive right now? Or is this also fake news? No, they're normal. They're not cheap, let's put it this way, but they've been at least 40-50% higher than what the price is at the moment. So therefore, no, they're surely not at the highest level. Dada, your honest opinion about tomorrow match? Shoma, I said East Bengal needs to win. If they have a chance in this, they need to win tomorrow, ideally by 2 goals. So therefore, let's see. But if more far-right government came in here, don't you think it can go in favor of US again? No, I don't think so. I think what has happened over the last few days will not help the right. If you see German elections, a very, very interesting thing. Yes, the far right has got 20%, but the far left also got more than 10%. So therefore, this fragmentation is going to get further. But he said it after 6 months after Russia invasion. XYZ, I've not heard it. I don't remember recalling that he said that. That's something like that. Again, some stuff also get lost in translation. So therefore, I am very, very careful. And how would you know German coaches who would be interested to work in India? Yes, I know a few who have shown interest to work in India. Ideally, title race reminds me of the second Bundesliga promotion race this year. The second Bundesliga race has been like that for the last few years. So therefore, for me, second Bundesliga race already has been crazy for the last few years, and the I-League race also has mostly been crazy in the last few years, right? What was the story of Oscar Sonji? Wasn't he eligible for India? Rishabh, no, because he directly in his youth played for Andorra and was even Andorra captain. So sadly, never was eligible for us. But I remember I asked Oscar to come down. India was training in Barcelona in 2009, and for Oscar, it's a 2-hour drive down from Andorra to Barcelona, and he actually came and watched the Indian national team. I remember he came down, and we watched an exciting friendly. I'm not talking about Ursula. It was an old man that made the statement. XYZ is said. I don't know who that person can be, but I've not heard it. Therefore, again, what statement? And again, what was the statement? Why would India go against Russia, who has been historically supported us during the Bangladesh Liberation War? The fact is, Russia is more reliable partner for India than the entire West. Zuravar, if you think so, be my guest. But Foreign Minister said Europe doesn't care what happens with the rest of the world, and now the Ukraine, they want rest to think Europe is to be more realistic. Which Foreign Minister said that? I don't know where. Let's get back to football. We're getting a little too much of, yeah. There was a coach called Portugal and I quite liked. Who's your favorite coach? Hmm. Good question. I don't have a favorite coach as such. I've been quite good coaches in the ISL. Yeah. Are you going to watch Madrid Derby tonight? No plunger. Here in Germany, I'll be watching Borussia Dortmund. In geopolitics, there are no friends, no foes. It's all about interests. I don't like this government. What they've done is sensible. Don't take any side. That's what we've been doing right. If you think so, I think if India wants friends when India faces more problems with China, let's wait and see. Is there any players in SAAC, men's, women's, who plays in Europe First Division? Yeah, the Nepal captain, Savitra Bhandari, plays in France, and Manisha Kalyan plays in Greece. Entire Europe and West supported a military dictatorship in Pakistan for decades, even trained Taliban, which in long term helped them form a terror factory for which thousands of Indians have lost lives. Okay, so the Russians doing their stuff in Afghanistan was right. Bhutanese king and Bhutanese prime minister visited India 7-11 times, also 29th state. Okay. I don't think we get real information of foreign affairs. Our media is very government driven. Yeah, bro, that's the very problem. I guess East Bengal can make it with a tight first leg win and get a draw on Turkmenistan on a good day, but therefore East Bengal have to get to that in both matches. I agree, Roshan. That's the main thing. Um, to me, um, so to me, that's the challenge, right? To me, the challenge is that is no that they have to get a result. If East Bengal get a result at home, then they've got something to fight for. If they don't get a result at home, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. What could be done more to increase more warmth between India and Europe trade relationship, also people to people relationship? I hope that Europe integrates with the Indian economy. It's very simple. India and its sort of, you know, state controlled tariffs. So yeah, but that's again on that front, I guess with India, Donald Trump is right. So therefore, India has been a very, very big closed shop, taking care of itself. But on the other side, India, like most of the world, has done one mistake, and that we've banked on China to produce our stuff. That's the problem. Wasn't Oscar born in India? No, Rishabh. He's born in Andorra, as far as I know. He's not Indian born. I mean, he's Indian origin, but he's not India born. According to Indian foreign policy experts, India foreign policy isn't based on idealism, it's based on brutal self-interest. I'm quite sure many people in India agree with Ukraine, but it's business. Yeah, it's not even in its self-interest, in the interest of a few. I think India has the same problem as the United States on that. The interest of a few are more important than the interest of the country. India needs to spend 80 billion plus on defense just for this very reason. Mm, I don't know. India has other issues and problems, and India's so-called friends in the neighborhood. Who's left? Who's friendly with India in the neighborhood, right? India. So you can't push it on the others. The others have done their own mistakes. I agree on that, but India's also been doing mistakes. In regard to foreign policy. As Jayashankar said that geopolitics is complicated. If anyone wants to support Russia, we'll have to remember, guys, Russia is way more closer to China than us. That's the main problem. That's the main problem, and China is the real issue for India. And yeah, just Buffon visited Nepal yesterday in World Cup in Nepal. Okay, interesting. On Marky page, really like the impact that Elano, Mendoza, Forlan, Luis Garcia created. Yeah, good names. Elano, I love that guy. I had quite a few interactions with him. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I actually didn't get any view of what Jaishankar wants to do. It's like staying in limbo weird. Listen, on one side, he's trying to make India big, but he sent his own kids to study in the US, and then it's a pool. That guy's a pool khichdi. If guy of contradictions, in my opinion. India would like to have warm relations with everybody. Russia, Europe. Russia loves Indian people. Europeans also have a positive view. That's how I see it. I would love Europe to become important. I think the days where Europeans, Russians, Americans had positive view of Indians has gone for a while. I think if you believe that, then sorry, that's I bring out a word and I say then you're in La La Land, because India's reputation has gone down the drains, right? Indians are My father's generation worked very, very hard to build a very, very positive reputation of Indians here in this part of the world. Not only Germany, I'm saying in this part of the world. That has been pulled down by Indians who've come over the last 10 years. Sorry to say that. And I see that. I happen to be the president of a Durga Puja here, the biggest in Europe. I see that. It's a shame of that behavior. So therefore, how good or bad is healthcare and education in Germany and Western Europe? See, we have a healthcare system which has a socialistic look at it, and everyone is taken care of. So that's the important one. So that's the first thing. It's not an industry like I've seen that to be in India. In Western Europe's different countries, I cannot speak it about generally. Education is a problem in general. I was speaking to an Australian guy who lives actually here, and then he's talking about how the education system has changed. I think since COVID, a lot of things have changed, and it isn't as strong as it was when I was going to school. I think but I think it's the changing of times. I think education has not lived up to the changes that especially social media has brought with it over the last 10, 15 years. I think the world has dramatically changed through social media, and education is still very classic oriented in regard to what is written in books, because history changes so fast these days. Reality changes so fast these days that is not really taken care of in regard to what you do and what you learn. Because if you're learning stuff, let's say science is more about what was in the past, and science is making so many breakthroughs at the moment that the world is changing very, very fast. I feel like India will play World Cup after Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. I know growth is slow in these countries, but grassroots football is developing with a good structural league. Bhutan and Nepal, no chance. Bangladesh, maybe. I don't know. I mean, Bangladesh has its own set of problems, so I don't see anyone from South Asia actually going close to the World Cup at the moment, if you ask me. As for friends, has any Western nation support India during any war? For information use, didn't support, but didn't provide jeepers to Indian soldiers during Kargil war. Zrawar, if India is more friendly with the Russians, why, and that would be talking about the 90s, why would the Americans support India then? Right? India had a chance to get support from the West. It chose the Russians. So don't put the blame on the West, put it on the Indian governments. India said we are out of everything, but India clearly had a socialistic outlook government. Now it has let's be honest about it, an autocratic outlook. And these are reasons, and India wants to find a place in the world, and there is no place for India in the world, right? Look at the way the Americans are throwing out Indians. They are throwing out Indians like as if they were not human beings. This is the first thing that the Prime Minister should have gone and said to Donald Trump. Treat my citizens, yes, even if they're illegals, like human beings and not like a piece of S ... That is the reality. So what are we talking about? We feel sorry for Ukraine, but how did Russia become enemy of Europe? Didn't most of Europe and Russia were allies against Nazi Germany, or was it democracy mongering by US? Russia and the West, or let's put it this way, the East and the West partnered there because your enemy, a friend of a friend or enemy of an enemy, that kind of a situation. Russia was a threat after the Second World War. And we lived through it. We used to go through certain drills as kids here in Germany because the Russians were in East Germany, right? And you never know. We could have faced nuclear war in the 80s in this part of the world. So that is something. And that is what you need to understand from history. And Putin was a KGB agent based in Germany. And he believes that Russian influence should go as far as at least Germany. And he said so. And that is, the West has been naive that we thought after 1990 that the world has changed, that the world has gone from being bipolar, that now we're working together. I think Germany was in some elements very, very naive to think that, the Russians are our friends. I've always said, I remember I said in connection with a football deal, Schalke 04 got Gazprom as a title sponsor. I remember in 2007, if I'm not wrong. And I said, you're taking blood money, you know? Russia has done military exercises with Pakistan. They're very close to China as well. We need to keep the right balance. There are no friends. It's all about interest. Yeah, but Rishabh, your so-called Russian friend is not going to help India in any case with the two countries mentioned. So therefore, India has played its card. In my opinion, it's played its cards very, very badly, but tell that to the government. Can Hong Kong players play for China? In theory, yes, because they are Chinese citizens these days, right? If it weren't for Russian interest to help us, it would have been US. I don't think so. That's the point. If India as a player, if it's perceived to be so important, they would have done certain things to pull them closer towards them. And they've done certain things, but it's not happened, right? India's been desperately pushing for a EU-India trade pact, right? They've been after, and I don't know if you know this, they've been after the Europeans for that for the last, I don't know how many donkey's years. It's not happened, right? Even the Germans came down recently with its government and nothing happened. China won't dare to do a Ukraine type attack on India. Both nations have nukes, and now India even possesses hypersonic missiles, not to forget. Whatever, Zoravar. But do you know that the Chinese are on Indian territory? Ask the people in Arunachal, ask the people in Sikkim, ask the people in Ladakh. They are there, right? And the quality of armies, I think the Ukraine war has proved. Russia was supposed to be a deadly army, right? They are decimated. They're pushing in people in, and it's like a grinding machine. So you have to understand that. What's, according to you, India policy should be, Europe and Germany to be precise, and how should India deal with Trump? I think with India, with Trump, should be very, very clear that India needs to, clearly take a stand. As I said, it's to me, they need to clearly state that, I am willing to take my citizens back who are illegal, but treat them like human beings as the first point. India should not, they started with Harley Davidson reducing the tariffs. Now they're saying, Tesla is being given a chance to enter the Indian market. So you've blocked the car makers from Europe, from Asia, from other parts of the world, and now you're opening the electric market to Elon Musk. I don't know if I'm Tata, especially Tata's. If I'm Mahindra, I would be worried, right? So therefore, that's the first thing with the Americans. And with the Europeans, it's business and mutual interest, right? So that's the question of what India wants. I think it's Europe needs and India needs each other if you want to avoid China. And that's the win-win. When I visit some dhaba in India, I feel like hygiene is a crime there. Yeah, can be, wake up. If you're talking about X and all that hateful mongering and racist attack towards Indians in the age of digital media, now it's now trendy. Now Chinese will also target so are Japanese and US. No, I think it is not trendy or something XYZ. I think it has been made trendy by MAGA, um, you know, and that racism has always been there. It's been more or less, but it was less, I felt. It has grown exponentially over the last 10, 15 years. And a platform like X, a platform like Facebook and all these others um, is not taking us anywhere. We lost all our friends in the last few years, from Bangladesh to Sri Lanka to Nepal and Maldives. Pakistan region is all-time low. Taliban too. Foreign minister showed Israel and Russia as friends. Yeah, Blue, very well said. PR, and that's something that you guys want to understand. Let's talk about it. So let's wait. I'm not saying that India should militarily support Russia, but remain neutral, just like Western Europe has been against us, not our war, not our issue. Again, India has not been neutral. The West has not been neutral. India has gotten support. India still is flying Russian machinery. So, Zoravar, there's some things in history that has to be right. China is just pretty much buying leaders around our neighborhood. They bought Serbia leader Vucic. What is Europe's reaction to that Serbia closing in with China? Serbia was supposed to join the EU. That's been pushed back. That's the answer of Europe. Very simple. Vucic is close to Russia as well. Can we get back to football discussion, please? Yeah, it should. I'd like to. Again, we've drifted away. You can't trust anyone blindly just because they support us in last doesn't mean they'll support us against China. They will not support. I'll tell you that. Indonesia with Kluivert as coach, chance of qualifying for 2026 World Cup. That was the first signing. I don't know if you've seen in the last few days. Yeah. Hadi Cruyff has joined also the Indonesian Federation. So they are trying to set the house in order to try and qualify for the World Cup. So Indonesia, very, very impressive what they've been trying to build or are building. So in my opinion, it's a big, big thing. But that group is very tricky. Let's see if they can finish in the top four. Europeans see Indian foreign policy as like a guy who's juggling multiple chicks at the same time who thinks everybody like him, but everybody can see through him, but deal with him as its business. Yeah, could be seen. And now geopolitics is not emotional. Emotions need to be kept aside. They were illegals. That's a crime. Isn't Germany doing the same? Isn't European? Also protesting would have been Zelensky 2.0. XYZ. It is not being emotional. Yes, Europe are sending people back, but they're treating them like human beings. Europe, treat them like human beings. They've done something wrong. You're treating them worse than your worst criminals. That's, there's a little bit of human rights involved. India will soon be divided in many countries, and I guess I think there are no country called India before that. There will not be. That's, last stream politics. CXYZ, Rushabh, having worked in a political department as a journalist in my younger age, I do mean so therefore got a little understanding, and that's also my answer to you, XYZ. I've got a little bit of understanding with geopolitics, talked to a lot of people who still work in there, and very interested in that part as well besides football. Yeah, I think East Bengal have got somewhat of a good momentum. I believe they'll do better than what they did against Al Nasir, but yeah, one game at a time. I don't know if the momentum is good. I think the momentum was broken in that second half by Sunil. West, along with Europe, has also done military exercise. Pakistan wouldn't have many enemies. Making enemies with Russia would be suicidal. Russia is not your friend. Russia is your that's the Zoravar. Can't be trusted, but go ahead. If you're one side wants best the other with getting favored, wants to trump the other. Also, game market is always very risky because of dumping issues. XYZ, that's a general problem. That's a very, very general problem. Indeed, my point was our side needs to be balanced, in my opinion. That's what historically we have been doing. Let's continue with football. Yeah, let's continue with football. Politics is very complex. And as I say with football, your sources have to be the key, guys. If you think again, question people, what they're saying, what they're putting out there. That's the key. That's the key at this moment in time, because people will tell you, oh, it's this way, it's that way, and it's not working. So that to me is, I think, a very, very important thing. And to me, historically we were never in balance, and football is a reflection of India, where we have global aspirations, and we are So therefore, it is something that football needs to grow up and understand where it stands. And we want to be a global player, and maybe in the next few years we might not be even a local player. That is my real concern. People are saying Bhutan can become India's Hong Kong, so Bhutanese players going to play for India then? How? I mean, Bhutanese is Bhutanese. Hong Kong is part of China, you know? Yeah. So um, it is something, I don't know where you get that comparison from. Back to football thing, Northeast United would have finished where they have had they not a general. Zorawar asked, I said that early on today in today's show, that if you ask me, without that player, I don't think they would have been where they are at the moment. I think Aladdin Ajare has been that exceptional player, exceptional talent for East Bengal FC, to get them into the ISL playoffs. And yeah, the stats, I mean, 21 goals, 28 goal contributions, insane. And whenever World Cup qualifiers, Serbia versus Albania, again, didn't learn last time. What XYZ, these are open draws. They don't do fixed draws, so therefore it happens. By the way, what is your opinion about tariffs in India? Seeing the tariffs, you will never beat China. Blue, tariffs can be used as something to safeguard your own market, but India is such a big internal market. Again, if it didn't open up, for example, would we have a Maruti Suzuki today? Right? I think Manmohan Singh has done a lot of things economically, so let's see. East Bengal should have thrown playoffs hopes into bin, in my opinion. Could have rested most first team players, but yeah, it wasn't. It is what it is. Hopefully, a 1-0 win. Rishabh, the problem is, I think, for a coach, that when you have such a match like BFC, where there is a theoretical chance, even as small and minute as it is, you will try and hold on to that chance, right? That is what a coach can, should, needs to do, and then that is what Oscar did. I think that certain players who were injured or are injured, that is not, these are not new injuries. So therefore, in my opinion, nothing has changed. And yeah, they pushed, but they couldn't get it over the line, and that's the sad part, I think, for East Bengal. A 1-0 win would have been nice against BFC, because that would have given you a positive momentum. Now you've had injuries. I don't know how many foreigners, so therefore, so therefore, yeah, that's very, very clear. Let's keep the tariffs part out, guys. We've discussed it a lot. We can do a little bit more of those discussions maybe another day, because I think there is, again, in my opinion, a misconception on certain things. Yeah, as I said, look at your sources, because it seems to me that some of the information is not, so, if Yugoslavia existed today, hypothetically, in my opinion, they would have won at least one World Cup. Balkans, hotbed region. Let's not go back to politics from here. Rishabh, I don't think so, because the interesting part is that you think that you can put the best from Serbia, the best from Croatia, add a little bit of Bosnia, add, let's say, Slovenia, Benjamin Šeško to the mix, would have worked, because the problem is in Yugoslavia also sometimes internal politics, that some people will say was also with the Soviet Union, the problem that Soviet Union never really got the result that they could have gotten with the talent that was disposal, because at the end of the day, the biggest group, or whoever is controlling the federation, controls also the system. So therefore, these are things which are there, which are realities, but I don't think they would have won something. I'm not going to go back to that. XYZ. Let's keep it another. AIFF revoked a red card and the FC goalkeeper on the others to blame referees. So, however, I'm lost for an explanation. I am lost for an explanation. If that is not a red card, we don't have to play football. And blaming referees, blaming fixing from Interkashi and this and that and everything. I know certain figures from Interkashi, so his numbers are also wrong. It is unbelievable, and he gets away with murder. Sorry to say that, Ranjit, you are so way off. Um, you know, uh, you know. So therefore, for me, sorry, let me just quickly cover. For me, that is something which is very, very important. That that is it's just insane that where we've come to in Indian club football, that this is something which I feel should be looked at. Is Has the disciplinary committee been compromised for decisions of turning around decisions which were right by the referee? Has the disciplinary committee actually lost its mandate? Should the disciplinary committee, should certain members or maybe the whole disciplinary committee disbanded and a new committee put together? That is the question that I ask. And they've turned down a lot of decisions where I would say the on-field referee took a right decision. And that is my concern that we have. And and I don't know where we're getting with that, and are we making progress on that front? And I feel we're not, and that is my concern at the moment. That's my big concern at the moment. Looking at things, that are we doing the right things? Are we taking the right steps? Are we taking the right measures to push um, for better jurisdiction and judgments of the authorities in football in India? That is the district committee. With that decision itself, marks a thing. Chennai, another one, where I say, those things were discussed. It was found that those decisions were right, and the district committee turns them around. How can that be? How can a disciplinary committee take a decision and say, you know what, that decision was actually wrong? Because that red card in that the Delhi FC versus Interkashi game was 100% 100% right. Anybody who questions that red card does not understand football and should not be involved in football. Anybody who questions that red card or turns that red card around. Therefore, my question is the disciplinary committee of the AIFF in a position to actually take a call and say, this is right, because these guys have clearly shown to me that they're not capable of taking a right decision. That is my understanding of the situation, and that is the most disturbing thing, that we are in a situation that so much of stuff is being destroyed structurally in Indian football. He's literally trolling Kashi Nets, and East Bengal fans are supporting him. Yeah, Zorawar, because see, if an East Bengal is honest, they would not support their club. They would question their club. And all the decisions Harish Guru took the other day is right. And the Anwar Ali thing is a good example. Has it worked for East Bengal? How many matches has he played? How has he performed? Anwar Ali at the moment is a shadow, of the best that he can play. So does ISL have enough funds if they don't shut down next year to implement goal line technology? It's not about the ISL. See, Rishabh, the spending comes from the club's franchises. And the funny one is that those who are shouting about VAR are not willing to spend a rupee on VAR themselves. So what's the discussion? I guess every controversial decision got turned, and people say ref is doing critical mistakes, even more with proof. That's true. That's my concern. That is my real concern. No update on FSD and AIFF deal regarding XYZ. I think the Ukraine problem will be solved before that if this continues at this rate between FSDL and AIFF. By the way, Rajdeep Paul of Mohammedan Sporting Club is the top scorer in U15 league. Lad has now 54 goals and over 40 assists in 21 games. Wow, insane. But, Barabar, as I say, let the boy play. Ranjit Bajaj is ultralight Elon without world-class products, right? No, obviously, don't make those comparisons. He knows he has done some shady deal with East Bengal, reason why they are supporting each other. Zorawar, I think there are a lot of shady deals which have happened, do happen in Indian football, sadly. It just is how can we move forward in the right direction? That's my whole concern. And we're not moving anywhere in the right direction at the moment because we're moving backwards. At the moment, we are moving backwards, badly backwards. Uh, you know, so I don't know where can we go to really showcase, grow Indian football in the right direction. At the moment, that is my concern because even the authorities themselves are, I don't know, in shambles. FIFA banning countries for interference, is it right? Especially in our case, I'm conflicted on this topic. On one side, I feel Supreme Court needs to enforce in the constitution. You know that it's an interference, right? It is an interference, Rishabh. The Supreme Court at the moment, um, in a constitutional matter, which is not for them to hear. The AIFF constitution needs to run by the laws of the country, but on the other side, it needs to be run by the laws and constitutions of international sports. That is not happening. That has not happened. That's why we got banned in 2022. And I repeat the point. I went in 2022 to India to talk to people about things. And to me, it is still today not understood. And it is nearly 3 years later. So no one in Indian football, no one who has a little bit of say and or should have an understanding has really gone forward. So therefore, no, let's see. I'm 54. Who is he playing? Schoolboys, is he the real deal? Let's see. Lutely against East Bengal, Mohammedan Sporting, Bengal Football Academy, RMS Football School. The standards also drops quite dramatically if you see what it is, right? But let the boy play and then I'll see. What are we signing? Was Pritham for Chennai FC versus scammed and bad, that too in place of Pumsing centre back into Bikash was going Zoravar for free. So for me, it made sense to try and bring in a replacement because getting an Indian defender at the moment is a big problem. I don't get why Supreme Court have 400 plus pending cases here, something that isn't even under their jurisdiction. Blue, that should be a question asked to the Supreme Court. And for example, the Delhi High Court has turned around and said to the IOA that they can't interfere with the running of the boxing federation. Where I'm saying, like, of course, it's the legislation. It's the role of the IOA to step in when the boxing federation is not following the rules and regulations. That is the problem of Indian courts. So someone at some stage need to tell the Indian courts, either you create a separate sporting jurisdiction under which all of these instances are heard, or you keep your hands off. Yeah. So even Chennai FC fans are saying Owen to be sacked for signing Pritham. Zoravar, I think Owen needs to be sacked for other reasons, but I don't think he needs to be sacked for signing Pritham, right? I don't know what they thought that Pritham Kotal would come in and be, that sensational. He's doing his job. I don't know what. Honestly, I don't know what the problem of some of the fan groups these days are. Honestly. Right. 1 hour and 43 minutes. Yeah. Discussion went a little different today from Indian football to other things. Again, nobody has to agree with my viewpoint, but again, I think I have a different viewpoint due to the angles of which I can look at things. And again, I've always had an interest in politics and things and worked at. So that is something which is there. And let's focus on Indian football because we've got enough problems on that front. I take this blue comment, but according to Supreme Court, questioning Supreme Court isn't right. Yeah, that's also a very, very big fact, Blue. Tomorrow, if the AFC allows me to watch the game, let's see, supposedly I'm able to watch it via the AFC channel. If that's the case, and then I'll be doing a watch along for East Bengal versus Arkadag. I'll be doing also a little bit of a preview and looking at things a little later on. Watch that as well. As I always say, if you like the discussion, be part of it. And 16 likes for today. Thanks a lot. Share it with other people. Let's keep on growing the community as well. We're at 2,315 again, we've grown a little bit. Look at the short videos, spread it out. Let's have more people join in our talks, in our conversations. And thanks as always for everyone who's there. And I take Rishabh's point. Honestly, Pritham has got too much hate in the last couple of years. All I see is that he's done his job well, mostly for national team and club. And Rishabh, I agree. I think he started at Mohun Bagan Super or ATK Mohun Bagan, went on at Blasters, and now at Chennai FC. I think he's more stable than most of these young defenders, but again, he gets a lot of stick, and I don't know why, but I don't think he deserves it. What he's done for club and country, and but that's Indian football these days. As I said, tomorrow I want to do a watch along, 7 p.m. kickoff in Kolkata for the AFC Challenge League quarterfinal first leg. Join in then, and as I said, as always, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. So, and therefore, yeah. See you tomorrow. Good night.